Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to present Etisalat Cloud Journey. My name is Khaled Al Belooshi. I'm looking after the fixed network in the international department. However, during the last 5 years, I was looking at the cloudification and virtualization opportunities. During this presentation, I'm going to highlight the challenges that is today in the technology arena and the telecom operators, and then the opportunities that we see in the future, and then how we use our strategy, the strategy that we have built to address the challenges and capture the opportunities. And then I'm going to share with you the cloudification journey that we have started back in 2013. But let me give you an overview about Etisalat. Etisalat started its life in 1976. Etisalat is well known in the region of being pioneer in adopting the latest technology. Our presence spans all the way from Morocco at the west, all the way to Pakistan and Sri Lanka in the east, including countries with the most dynamic emerging market. Today we present in 16 countries. We have 139 million of customers. Our revenue during 2016 was around $14.3 billion with a net profit of $2.3 billion. As a telco, we are at the crossroad today, and I believe that the challenges can be categorized in 3 main areas: the service deployment, the architecture, and the digital experience. When it comes to the service deployment, it's the long time to market and the provisioning and the service provisioning. And I believe this is because we have insufficient operating model, as well as there is no synergy between the CT and IT. The second thing is the architecture. It's a rigid architecture, and it's closed. There's isolation and fragmentation of network domains, and also it's incapable of providing the future needs and requirements. We're also missing the digital experience, which is we are not able today to offer the on-demand services, as well as the self-care capability, which is mass customization and personalization. However, the future presents also opportunities for us, presents a lot of service opportunities. Now, to capture those services, we need to enable so many services, so many capabilities in the network that in the today existing network we cannot achieve. For example, the mass IoT, the ultra-reliable communication, the ultra-low latency, broadband access every place, high user and mobility, and the broadcast-like services. So to address those or to enable those capabilities in the network, and in order to capture the future services, we need to be innovative with the solution. And I think with the existing one or existing network, we cannot do that. So to just give an example of the mass IoT is the sensors, the networks, and smart wearables. Those are all opportunities we cannot capture if we don't enable the mass IoT capabilities. I'm not going to go into details about this slide. This I can keep it for your reference. You can go back to it if you are interested to know more about the services and the capability that comes with each services. We at Etisalat, we have developed our strategy, which consists of 6 pillars, which is appropriately named as coders, and to address those challenges and capture the opportunities for the future services. Coders stand for connected, open, delightful, efficient, responsive, and smart. We would like to be connected to the world with the highest possible bandwidth and speed, and also we want to enable the IoT and the smart city connectivity. We are open to the future, so we are going to adopt the open architecture in order to expose our assets to third parties and to our customers. We want to be delightful to our customers, and hence we want to be more customer-centric and be proactive in the way we provide the service to our customer, and hence we're going to use analytic and big data. We want to be efficient in the way we do things by enabling virtualization and centralization, and hence we have the automation capabilities. We want to be responsive to the market change. Hence, we want to be quicker time to market. We want to provide the products in a quicker time to market and on demand. And also, at the last is the smart in managing the challenges by enabling the self-healing. We believe that the fundamental element to address the cloud decoder strategy is the cloud. Because we believe it enabled the ambition of Etisalat, which is the 5 ambitions listed here in the slide, is the product agility, hence quicker time to market, service agility by having services on real time and on demand, cost saving by enabling new TCO model, and the self-caring by having artificial intelligence with the cloud, and the last is the auto-healing capability in the network. We have, as I already mentioned, we have already embarked on the cloudification. We started the journey in 2013. And I'm going to share with you the journey in the next coming slide. But however, at the start, I want to just share with you the high-level target architecture that we're looking for. This architecture is simple, flat, open, and agile. The main building blocks of this architecture is SDN NFV enabled, SDN NFV-based infrastructure, the service orchestrator, and the telco app factory. The telco app factory is a platform where our vendors can provide their solution to our customer directly. So our customer can tap in, and on demand, they can download and enable those services on their network. Overall, we believe that this architecture can deliver the strategies that I have mentioned in the coders. Moving forward, we believe that typical cloudification journey can be divided into 4 main phases. We call them ages, actually. The exploring age, the doing age, the becoming age, and the being age. In the exploring age is the age where you start to build up your capability and start to build up your knowledge and start to learn about technology and try things in the lab. The doing is the age is where you start to look at the low-hanging fruits and try them in your commercial environment. Becoming is the age where you start to move from virtualization toward more into cloudification. The start of the cloudification. Being is the age where you start to have the cloud-native concept and the full automation. And I'm going to explain more into all this. However, let's look at an important item that before starting into the journey, you need to, I believe you have to set up a collaborative ecosystem by having the regulators on board, by having the awareness session with the regulator on the new changes that's happening in the industry, and also to make sure that all your cloud solutions are meeting the regulators' guidelines. When it comes to the open projects, so many changes, so many things are advancing there, and you need to be updated with the latest things there before you start to come up with your plan. Telco, I think this is an important step also because we are all learning from this solutions. So I think it's very important that we start to exchange experience with each other so that we avoid doing the same mistakes. Vendors, I think eventually vendors are important because they are providing us the solutions for the cloudification. But I believe also the consultancy, they have also a very important role here. Because the consultancy, they are also in touch with sometimes with the boards, with the higher management, and I think they need to sell this technology to that level, to the management level. So moving to the exploring age, this is the age where you start to build up your knowledge, and you start to test things in the lab. So you start to set up your multi-vendor environment, and you start to test the interoperability testing with all different solutions available in the market. But I think you should focus on the services that you're looking for, on your urgent requirement, not to try everything. But there are so many solutions in the market, and I think you don't want to waste time there, doing so many testing, so many things. I think you also need to develop a roadmap and a plan. This is not a trip. This is a long journey. So you need to have a proper plan for the next coming 5 to 7 years. What are you going to do? And the last thing is that it's very important at this stage. You use this age to gain the experience, to get the expertise, to let your people work in the lab. Do not allow third party to work to do the things for you, the integration in the lab. No, you should do it yourself to gain that experience, to gain the confidence to move on to the next stage. Because in the next stage, you start to look at the low-hanging fruit and the things, application that meets your requirements, and you start to deploy them in the network. And you cannot do that if you don't have that confidence that, okay, that's the step. I build the experience and expertise in the lab, and I moved on with the implementation in the network. So this age, I believe, you start with the central data center. You have a couple of data centers you start to build with the NVI, and with the silo implementation of Mano, and you select some of the business-proven applications where you start to enable them in the network. Here also, if you want to integrate it with the OSS/BSS, you start to do it through mediation because that's not focus area. You need to start low, focus on your domain, instead of being, trapped into the discussion and negotiation with the IT and start to go into area which is not important for you at this stage. So by doing this, you start to have some services in the network, which is a virtualized manner. It's just decoupling software from hardware. It's not fully orchestrated. So then you move on to the becoming age. Becoming age is the age where you start to distribute your NVI down, and you start to have it on the regional level with the converged Mano. I mean, the NVO will be most probably is one NVO that is running across the region, and you have also the SDN, the inter and intra SDN to automate the network for you, and then also integrate with the NVO, with the OSS/BSS. Now, at this stage, you start to feel some cloudification or automation. You will start to see, because what you have done is that you have automate your virtualization environment only, but you're still not connected to the PNF and not connected to the supporting system, which are important to get all the values from the full cloudification or automation. And we, as Etisalat, we are now transiting from doing to becoming. So we are starting to look at distributing the NFVI all the way to the region. And this is and we're moving into implementing more and more services on this infrastructure. The being age is the age where you start to put things together, where you start to connect your PNF with the NVO, and you start to connect them on the end-to-end service orchestration. And you also start to connect to the northbound interfaces with the other supporting systems, such as the analytic and the big data, so that you fully automate your network, and you start to capture the value. Here you start to see things happening and interconnecting, and you start to have the concept of cloud native introduced, and the full automation. One more thing is that you could also start to think of pushing your NVI even down to the edge layer. Now, it depends on each operator strategy and requirement, because you just don't go and push it if you don't have proper business case. So most probably you have to you build business case, and you start push them down. Because as you push smart things down, actually, the network cost will be more expensive to manage. So I think you need to balance that, the cost with the business case. This is an initiative that we have on the group level. It's called the Cloud Factory. The Cloud Factory is, the concept is simple to centralize, to have a cloud system which is centralized in a couple of data centers, and you start to serve all the OPCO remotely. The integrated production here is, the concept of Cloud Factory is that what we are saying is that the OPCO have infrastructure, which is the factory of the telecom. So we are saying that the OPCO does not need to build that infrastructure. Instead, we centralize the capabilities, and then we serve the OPCO from remote site. Today, in this, we are building the business case, and we are building the roadmap for this initiative. The key takeaways for this, I just want to highlight a couple of things. This is actually not a trip, as I said earlier. This is a long journey. And we believe that it's very important that you think big. You have full plan of what you're going to do in the infrastructure and in the network, because you don't want to build a silo infrastructure. No, you have a full plan of building pushing the NVI and the plans for the NVI, for the cloudification, for the virtualization. All those things you have to build the puzzle, put them into clear plans, and then you start to move simple and easy, and you start to look at the easy scenarios where you can integrate in the network. The orchestration is the most important part of or element in this the whole puzzle, because it's the element that will connect and give you the end-to-end full automated services. The most challenging part actually is the skill set and the mindset. We believe this is the most important part, and I think you need to have the plan at the early stages to have a program, how you're going to hire, how you're going to train your employee and bring them on board with this new technology. Especially knowing that your employees are already in their domains. And the IP, for example, they are more looking at the IP routing, and the others are looking at more detail their domain, and they are not into this new technology, which is more IT based than the network. The other important thing is the awareness. I don't believe that this is a technology-driven project, the cloudification. It's much more than that. It's a marketing, it's a business, it's a commercial. You could develop anything you want. You can come up with a solution, but if nobody can sell it, then I think you would just waste your time. The whole thing, you need to bring your marketing and business on that. You need to show them the value. For them, they don't care whether it's a virtualization or is it a solution. What solution going to do? What is for them? That's very important, the message, that we need to bring them on board at the early stage. And I think it's very important that you bring your marketing, your regulators, your HR, your management on board at the early stages so you have smooth transformation. I just have one more announcement I have to make is that what we have been working actually with Deloitte and Huawei during the last 6 months on developing a white paper on the cloudification journey. And I think you can consider this presentation as a summary of what is actually there in that white paper. And that white paper, we are planning to release it during during next week. And there will be press release for that. And I would like to thank both Deloitte and Huawei for helping us on that white paper. Thank you.